All right, here we are. In this lesson, we are going to create a new type of object, which is the scriptable object. This will allow us to store data for our level. In this case, the level will only contain an array of chunks or a list of chunks for the chunk manager to spawn a level correctly. So let's get right into it. Open the CrowdRunner folder, and under the scripts folder, let's create a new script and call it level scriptable object. So just SO. Okay. So double click it to open it. Cool. And this class, so the level SO class, will not derive from monobehavior. This one will derive from scriptable object. So we can already remove our start and update method. We won't use them. Okay, cool. To be able to create a scriptable object from the editor, we are going to add an attribute right here. This attribute will be create asset menu. When you create this attribute, you need to specify 3 arguments: the file name, the menu name, and the order. So let's do that. Let's say file name equals level. Menu name will be equals to scriptable objects. That way we can store all of our scriptable objects under a same category, and then level. Then we can say that the order of this scriptable object will be 0 to be able to see it at the top of our list. And by list, you'll see what I mean in a moment. Okay. As we've said previously, the level SO class will only contain an array of chunks. So let's create it. It's going to be a public chunk array of chunks. And that's it. Let's go back to Unity and see if we can create our level scriptable objects. So for that, let's create a new folder under the CrowdRunner folder, and let's call it levels. Okay, let's open it. Then right-click, create, and at the top, you can see that we now have a new category to select. So we can select our level scriptable object we've just created, like so. So let's call it level 00. Okay, cool. In our level 00 now, we can specify an array of chunk. So let's create one, let's say. Let's right click on our level and select properties. This way we have a new window that will show our level scriptable object. Okay, we can go back to the prefabs folder, chunks folder, and now we have our chunks that we can drag and drop into this new window we've created. Okay, so the level 00 will start with a medium chunk. So a medium chunks like so, which is empty. Then we can have a medium chunk with doors. If you click on it, you can see in the inspector that it has 2 doors. Okay. And then we want to have a long chunk, let's say, like so, which have 2 doors, if I remember well. Perfect. Then we will finish the level with the finished chunk. Okay, perfect. We've got our first level. So now we just need to add some logic to the chunk manager. That way we can input our level data and he will create the level for us. Cool. Okay. Let's open the chunk manager now. We can already remove all of the elements we have, like so. Maybe we can keep the finish line for now, but you can remove the chunks prefabs array and the level chunks array. And we will replace them by a new array of levels, level SO, sorry, like so. Let's call it levels. Cool. Now we've got some errors because it's not able to find the arrays we've deleted. So let's remove these methods, like so. You can store them somewhere if you need them, but in our case, we won't. So let's remove them. That way the script is cleaner. Okay, we can also remove this or replace it by a new method called generate level. And let's create this method right now. Private void generate level. Perfect. What do we want to do in this generate method? First off, we want to select the correct scriptable object. To do so, we need to have the index of the level the player will play. So we already have it right here in the getLevel method. So let's say int current level equals getLevel. Perfect. Then we are going to write level SO. So the level we're going to use, level equals levels. We're going to search in the levels array, the level with the index current level. Okay? But wait, what if our current level is greater than the length of our levels array? It will return an error. So for that, we first need to check if that's the case or not. To do so, we can clamp our current level. There is a small trick you can use here, is to make the game endless. So it will play all the levels in a loop. To do so, we can say that current level equals current level modulo levels.length. That way it will never be as long as the length of our levels. The modulo operation basically just takes the remainder of the division between the current level and the length of the levels. So this can never be greater than the length of the levels. Okay, let's try this. Now that we've got our level scriptable object, let's generate all of the chunks of this level. And of course, I shouldn't have deleted the previous methods, so I'm putting it right back here. Okay, perfect. Because we are gonna use the same logic in our new generate level method. Okay, cool. We can rename this method to create level. Okay, and instead of having no arguments, let's add a new chunk array argument like so and call it level chunks. Perfect. This fixed our error first, and then it allows us to specify an array of chunks that we want to create. Perfect. Because if you remember, in the level scriptable object that we have right here, we have an array of chunks we want to create. So it's going to be very easy. We can say create level and pass in the level chunks. That way, it makes things very easy to edit. And we're pretty much done. So let's go back to Unity. Okay, let's select the chunk manager. And in the inspector, let's drag and drop our level. So let's lock it for now. Let's go to the levels folder, drag the level 00 and drop it in the levels array. Okay, let's hit play now. We should have our level created. Perfect. So let's hit play and play a little bit. So times 10. Whoa, we have a huge amount of players right now. 46. Okay. Now there is another error we are going to fix later on. Perfect. You see that it has created the level 1 again. That's pretty neat. Okay, cool. So in the next lesson, we are going to fix the bug you've just noticed, that when we add some runners, they don't run. They are not playing the runner run animation. And this is exactly what we are going to fix in the next lesson. So let's get right into it.